Welcome everybody for this Company Affairs 3 cast. This time it's me, Herr Blaut, here playing as the US Forces, and I play against Charlotte playing as the Wehrmacht. And it was a rank 22 player during the match. It was the first match yesterday after the Blends patch. And I would like to share it with you since I was shocked about the performance of the US Forces as well as the HMGs generally. With that, let's give it a try. So, we see Charlotte building the tier 1. That's quite classic, and I am building the tier 1 as well as a Pioneer. That is most likely the builder we all know, I like most, going for the Pioneer, and I assume that soon I will go for the Willis Jeep. Yes, I am a huge fan of the Willis Jeeps.
Engineers have been bolstered and are ready for combat.
Both players are immediately going for the fuel.
Deploying engineers now.
Ah, and I also picked the what's it called? The mechanized battle group, right? Let's turn on the volume a little bit. Sorry. A little bit too loud at the moment. Like that, maybe. Alright. Okay. So it's going for the cutoff. Most likely wants to go for the 16 times fuel, right? Ammunition, because this point is very important for all fractions. It's going towards the center of the map. Most likely want to occupy this building. That's something I also often like to do. I assume that this rifleman squad is also heading towards this building over here. Let's see what happens. Okay, Charlotte instantly goes for HMG. Yeah, and that is something I initially wanted to anticipate. So yeah, soon we will see that Charlotte is going for not just one MG, but for several MGs. And I have to admit that this was something I also like to do even previous to the patch, because I mean, 2, maybe even 3 MGs as an opener for the Wehrmacht, and then instantly into Jägers with Shreks is something that is incredibly strong. I mean, to be honest, usually I try to avoid the Jägers with Shreks because they are a little bit overtuned. However, the MG opener for the Wehrmacht felt good. And now we see one MG heading towards the center of the map. MG blocking the fuel over here. Here I'm misplaying. Retreat, please! I'm not retreating now, I'm retreating, nice. Okay. 2 of my squads are pinned already, that's bad. But there, the mighty Willis Jeep is coming in. And it's heading towards this position, because I thought, okay, 1 engineer and 1 MG. It's not too strong. But then I was a little bit surprised by the bad performance of the Willis Jeep. I thought it was buffed, and I think it feels better, but in this very moment, maybe due to RNG, it didn't deal as much damage as I hoped it would deal. But it's taking a lot of damage on the MG, that's fair. Okay, he occupies the center of the map now. The upper victory point, and there we see the 3rd MG heading towards the lower part of the map, and that's the same as I want to do. Now my intention was to deploy a flamethrower and scout over here using my scout squad, and then head towards this direction and engage from the southern area of the map with my rifleman. And when the MG is just focusing the rifleman, the flamer should make a barbecue of this MG. I'm curious whether this will work, since there's the 3rd MG incoming. Willis Jeep is doing Willis Jeep stuff over here. And I noticed that there's this MG, and I decided to blank it, and that's working. At the same time, Operation Barbecue is starting in the center of the map. This Jeep is having a good time. I have to micro it a little bit because he redirected his MG. This MG suddenly needs to retreat. Isn't it retreating? Wait a second. Yes, it's retreating. Okay. In the meantime, he failed to micro the MG over here and he loses it. Okay, so 2 MGs cleared. I mean, this MG is not dead, but there we see the 4th MG already. Wow, see, 4th MGs. That's quite a lot. And there the Flamer is just coming in. I decided to pick the Vet 1 ability where I can cap territories using my Willis Jeep. And I wanted to steal the MG. Successfully. And no, that was very funny. I mean, I was a little bit confused here because I thought, wait a second, rank 22 and he is racing his 2nd MG already. However, most likely was just a little bit tired because I think he's from, what was it, Korea or so? So maybe it was late over there. He was tired and, I mean, no, wait a second, it was late in Germany. Okay, I have no idea. Never mind. From time to time our performance is, yeah, not as good as it could be. So he is playing like I am playing, so sometimes I play really good and sometimes I just waste everything I'm having. So yeah, I feel with Charlotte. Anyway, now I'm having 2 MGs, one of the northern area of the map and one of the southern area of the map. I decided to steal both and still he's already having 3 more MGs. So he's going for MGs and Pioneers only at the moment. Yeah, and by now we don't see the new power of the MGs. By the way, I think he decided to go for the MG spam just to try out the buff of the MGs. And most likely he thought, okay, I'm playing against the US, so most likely we will see heavy rifleman blobs. So I think it was quite a good idea from him to, or her, I have no idea, Charlotte, to go for the MGs. But here we see, yeah, MGs are quite strong. I mean, green cover, it was just a Pioneer. Another MG, both got repelled. This MG also has to retreat because, yeah, now I'm in charge. Over here, Scout Squad holding this position. In the meantime, he is taking back the mission of the fuel point and the victory point. I am surprised actually. I just realized that now I'm surprised that he is not blocking the green cover spots for me. I mean, he is certainly having enough engineers, so I'm pretty sure that he could just easily deploy some barbed wire over here and over here, set up some barbed wire, some setbacks for himself to have better green cover for his MGs. But for some reason he decided not to do that. The Willis Jeep is doing an awesome job in repelling the MGs. I'm going for his cutoff and yeah, over here. Okay, now I didn't focus this incident. Here we saw that the rifleman entered the range of the MG and instantly was pinned. I mean, yeah, that's okay, but I think it's a little bit too much. I was happy with the state of the MGs in Company Furious 2. Because there they felt like being viable, but they weren't like pinning in a matter of no time. What they do now. Oh, am I getting the vibe over here? Nope. Anyways, would just have been a Pioneer of the Wehrmacht. 125 manpower is not too much, so no one cares for the vibes. Alright, Charlotte is going for a mortar, since he now realizes that I am also having quite a lot of MGs. But wait a second, I lost an MG, right? Somewhere? Maybe over here? Don't notice that. And the other MG is retreating, okay. I assume most likely I lost my MG over here. His MG. Ooh, Will's Jeep. Oh, Willis Jeep, what? Oh, Willis Jeep is dead.
Our 4x4 has been knocked out.
Okay.
Our Greyhound is here.
Yeah. Now I decided to go for a Greyhound since I participated during the patch release and also read the patch notes, and I noticed that they said, yeah, Greyhound or light vehicles generally, or also the Chaffee are a little bit better now. That's coming away, right? Scarcely. Yeah, that's coming away. However, Greyhound is performing a base dive now, and it's getting the wet 2 MG. That, however, that was scary. For some reason, I
300 points remaining.
was not
We have territory isolated.
expecting the Stu to come out that early. I mean, it's minute 10:30 already, but during the game it felt like, wow, is that super early? But now I see, it wasn't even that early, actually. Okay, so Stu for Charlotte, as well as now just 2 MGs. Wait a second, maybe I should have been trying to kill this MG over here, so that you can't recruit it.
Points being neutralized.
And the Stu is quite dangerous for the rear armor of some Greyhounds. Anyway, since I noticed that he is going for the Stu, I decided to go for a Chaffee light tank in addition to my Greyhound. I thought, yeah, I easily can afford that since the map control is pretty neat. And why not? I mean, the Stu is a huge threat. I'm not a fan of the Stus actually, because I think they slightly overperform since their armor is incredibly strong, and they are so good in killing infantry. Ah, that was unfortunate. I even saw the mine over here, but I just forgot it. Anyways, now I think we got the kill of the Stu. A bounce of the Chaffee. Another bounce of the Chaffee. Yeah, I think that's unnecessary. So many frontal armor bounces on the Stu. I mean, the Chaffee is dedicated to be a tank killer, so not sure whether I like that. Okay, over here, that was a bad engagement. Oh no! Anti-tank gun! Yeah, I mean, I get the point. He wanted to go for Stus and pair them up with anti-tank guns. I think that's a perfect combination. It's resembling the DAK Marder and Stu meta. And to be honest, I think it was meta for the DAK before the patch, and I think it will remain being meta after the patch. So, actually, the patch didn't change so much for the DAK. I think the Panzer Grenadiers still are not good enough to be the mainline infantry for the DAK, so most DAK players still will go for Panzer Pioneers instead of the Panzer Grenadiers as mainline infantry, and equip them with flamethrowers, and then rush for Achtrad armored cars since it's still quite strong, and then for the Stu and Marders, and the Marders are, in my opinion, the best tank killer units in the game. They have a super high turn rate, higher than many turrets of tanks. Okay, now let's hope there's that. Okay, it was not even too fast, but still fast enough to pin the squad, and it's pinned entirely within 2 seconds or so. Now the second squad is flanking this MG. It certainly has to retreat, right? Yes, okay. Yeah, so Stus with anti-tank guns was the play for Charlotte over here. I think that's a strong decision. Even though he lost one of his Stus now. but I'm having severe map control. So, I mean, I lost both of my tanks, unfortunately, but it's not too bad since I killed the Stu, and I'm having superior map control, even though now these two MGs are kicking in. Never forget to plant some mines, as well as Charlotta did over here. Ah, I lost this MG over here. Retreat. MG also needs to retreat. Yes, I would like to have this MG. Oh, blob cap. Me. Obviously was a little bit too busy with microing the stuff over here. And there we see the second mechanized assault group. The Stuck D with the mighty Panzer Grenadiers. For some reason he pressed S, so that it won't fire. Most likely a misclick. Tank riding the Panzer Grenadiers into or onto the front. That was strong. Well played. I really have to pay attention for the... there was one MG incident in the match where I thought, wow, okay, that is why I think MGs are a little bit overperforming. It's not that incident over here. I don't actually remember where it happened, but yeah. I have to be careful so that I won't miss it. Yeah. By the way, always keep in mind that the scout squads are not that weak actually, because once they are having the utility package, I think the smoke grenades are incredibly handy. Now Charlotte is getting back onto the battlefield. I went for the T4, most likely I will go for... Ah, no, okay, I remember that. I thought, okay, a Hellcat could be a good idea now to deal with the Stu. On the other hand, as you can see, I'm already having the anti-tank gun, and this thing can load the armor-piercing rounds, even though 50 ammunition I think is way too expensive for this ability. I even think it should be for... maybe not for free, but it should be way cheaper actually. Because without the anti-tank rounds, the no model drop over here. Best way to defuse mines, just use your anti-tank gun. Yeah, because the US Forces anti-tank gun is a little bit weak against armor without the armor-piercing rounds. Anyway, I think it was over here, right? No, maybe not. Okay, now he's... Oh no, it was not that incident, okay. Hopefully it was not the incident over here. Ooh. Okay. Just in time.
We're losing a strategic point. A munitions point is being attacked.
Yeah. So as you can see, I was quite busy to prepare all the flanking maneuvers to outflank all the MGs of Charlotte.
Our territory is cut off from
It was a little bit more difficult in the center of the map, however the northern southern part of the map, yeah, it worked. Now I'm getting back the victory point over here again. Decapped all the victory points. Use smoke! Do it! I think I intended to do it, but I was pinned too fast. Okay, this engagement was bad. But as you can see, you don't even have to use a blob to make an MG strong. MGs are super strong generally now. Uh-oh. This MG was a little bit off track, but now is still doing the job. Yeah, and by the way, as we can see, I mean, I am just playing for Rifleman, and I think that is just a regular sturdy build. I think that is It's quite okay and quite useful, or no, yeah, useful. It's obviously useful, but I think it's okay because it's not really abusive. Because the rifleman should be the mainline infantry for the U.S. forces. However, I'm playing 4 riflemen, and as we can see, 4 riflemen are enough to outflank. Yeah, look at that. For instance, that was not okay, I guess, because this MG. It just fired at this squad, and this squad got pinned at the same time, even though not even one single bullet was hitting this, or even moving towards this squad over here. So that is why I think, at the moment, yeah, after the patch, I think the MGs were in a good spot before the patch. Actually, I think they weren't too weak. I think the blob issues were related to some other mechanics of the game. Another flank over here, just with a... yeah, the intention here was to cap this point, so that he will redirect his MG, so that I can engage it with this squad. Yeah, but I mean, as you were able to see, this MG just pinned 2 squads, even though the one squad was not even fired at, so I think that's not okay. Yeah. Now, will that work at least? Unitarian battle is ranging on over here. MG is being fired at from the rear. Oh no. Okay, it's retreating. I think he didn't even need to retreat it because, yeah. Maybe a nade could have been dangerous. Otherwise, he would have been dead. Uh-oh, grenade over here. Okay, dodged it. Nice. And a Panther. Okay. Wow, this is now pretty dangerous. Stoß. 2 anti-tank guns and a Panther. Whew. Paired up with 3... No, wait a second. 2? 3. Yeah, 3 MGs. That is incredibly dangerous. And a mortar, of course, even though it's a frontline mortar. So Charlotte is doing the same mistake as I sometimes do. Most likely was just using a attack move command to operate his mortar, and that was a mistake because it just went towards the center of the map way too far. Now I decided to go for the Hellcat since shims are just not enough to deal with a Panther. Panthers are quite strong. Yeah, this squad is doomed. Needs to retreat soon. Yeah. Earlier I didn't finish what I wanted to say. So, 4 riflemen and 2 assault pioneers. Together with a scout squad and I mean several MGs I stole from Charlotte. Is a good build, in addition with a anti-tank gun, obviously. I guess. And I think, even though the enemy was playing these overperforming MGs, the riflemen were able to deal with them. And this is why I think maybe the riflemen or the bars are a little bit overtuned now. Okay, this Panther is dead. That was a good engagement. Will this Stu die as well? Oh no, I think it won't. Now I try to escape with the Hellcat, but Charlotte noticed that and backed up with his anti-tank guns, killing the Hellcat. Too bad. Okay, engagement is raging on, trying to deal with the Stu a little bit and repelling the MG. In the meantime, he is recapping the map over here, so notice that this was more or less a not an all-in engagement, but an engagement where I wanted to, yeah, just kill something. At least the Panther or so. But now that was bad because the second Panther was just coming in. That was really bad. And then now I lost my shot in addition to the Panther, to the Hellcat.
Cover his position.
Bounce.
Enemy move.
The Stus now cost 50 fuel, I guess, so. And 240 manpower? What was it like that? I think so. So they readjusted the costs of these boys a little bit. The epic battle. The scout squad, not dealing any damage, repelled the MG over here. Vet 2 was nice. I think he just was a little bit afraid of a blue dot standing, red dot from his perspective, standing next to his MG, and instead retreated to play it safely. That's the same as I am doing from time to time. Jump to outflank this MG over here with a sacrificial anti-tank gun. No, but it will survive, right? Yeah.
Engineers taking losses here.
Oh, this MG is dead.
We've lost the weapon.
Panther did the job.
Artillery, get down.
Yeah, that was bad. You remember that? I mean... Uh-oh. I remember that this artillery strike was not negligible, but I didn't remember that it was that strong, actually. Just killed the rifleman. That was bad. 2 anti-tank guns and an MG over here. It's getting back the control of the center of the map, or the victory point in the center of the map. In the meantime, I'm going for another Hellcat, and I think, maybe that was a mistake. I mean, suddenly I needed to make use of my fuel to have some less manpower drain. But at the same time, I guess
Defend our victory point. We're losing.
he's well he's too prepared too much for my armor. So Panther and 2 anti-tank guns are just too much. At the same time, I decided to go for a second anti-tank gun. So maybe that is a good idea now to deal with Panther at least. And I assume, I mean, I lost one of my okay. Anti-tank. The anti-tank guns are loaded, right? Can we see it? I don't know. Oh, I remember that situation. The Hellcat was so buggy. I tried to move it, but it won't move. That was really nasty. Why isn't the Panther engaging? No, it is, okay. Oh.
Commander, our anti-tank defenses are failing.
Second anti-tank gun is also firing.
We can't hail our Hellcat.
Ah, but the Panther... Ooh! Ah, yes, I remember that. He used the smoke ability. That was so well played. To avoid my anti-tank grenade. In the meantime, I'm visiting the MG over here again. That was bad. And now Charlotte is in a pretty good spot, even though... I mean, let's focus on that. Charlotte wasted 2 MGs in the very early game, and I was having tremendous map control. It was just incredible. And I just received 1 squad wipe, a rifleman, by now. as well as, yeah, I mean, I lost some of the MGs, however, these MGs were stolen from him, actually. I lost one anti-tank gun. 3 tanks now, but he also lost 2 tanks, a Stu and a Panther. So actually, I believe that Charlotte actually lost more stuff and more important stuff at more important points of the game. And still, he's having quite a good time. Uh-oh. No, no, no. Don't enter. Yes. So, yeah. And I think that's mostly due to the fact that that he's relying on MGs heavily. And Stu's with anti-tank capabilities. So that is more or less everything. Look at that. Everything's bouncing at the Stu. Okay. Not these 2 shots, but I think I activate the anti-tank rounds now. Yeah, at least 1 anti-tank round. Okay. But you really have to make use of the 50 ammunition anti-tank rounds. I mean, I forgot to plant mines, so I'm floating ammunition. Recapping the MG. Going for another rifleman. Oh, and he went for a Vespa. With some artillery. And another Stu. I'm trying to outrun it. It's working. Will it die? No. He pressed the retreat button just in time. Now I think I am heading towards the Panther. Trying to kill it. Yeah. Try to smoke the center of the map so that he can't pin me. Oh, sorry. I'm still a little bit sick. So, yeah. This MG's dead. This rifleman could be dead as well. But now the 2 anti-tank guns are firing at the Stu. Once you hit the side or rear armor, then they are taking damage. At least a little bit. Oh. Well played by Charlotte. Made use of the Vespa just in the... yeah. I have no idea how to express that, but he made use of the Vespa in a good moment. Okay, now Charlotte's a little bit desperate and tries to prevent the cap over here using his anti-tank gun. Yeah, I think it was this incident over here. This squad was engaging the MG from the south. MG was pinning it. Then it redirected to the squad engaging from the north. And also managed to pin that. And oh boy, I think this MG could have even pinned down this squad again if it would have been redirecting towards it. So I think no, MGs are just too strong now. I could imagine that we just will see MG spams, at least from Wehrmacht players in the future. Or I mean, this very strut of Charlotte most likely will be the way to go for the Wehrmacht in the future. Yeah, because I mean, let's try to imagine that Charlotte wouldn't have wasted all his MGs in the early game. It would have been pretty GG for me. I am not sure what I could have been doing against it, actually. Because I mean, the riflemen are strong now. But they are not able to deal with MG spam since they will get pinned all the time. You maybe could go for a sniper. However, then you need to go for the tier 2. And then you also have to build the tier 1 if you want to go for rifleman. Or maybe perform a assault engineer spam like many US Forces players were doing against the DAK at the moment. Which I really dislike because it's so abusive. Yeah. Oh. This snipe was pretty useless. Smoke! Use the smoke! Smoke is too slow! No, slow. Okay, it's not slow. Nice.
Defend our victory point. We're losing it.
Panther, displace my cover.
Sherman tank finished and ready.
Yeah, I think I just wanted to keep up the pressure a little bit. To make sure that... Oh yeah, on the Vesper, okay. That he won't have the resource to recap all the victory points, however he still did. Now I'm using the Sherman to clear this MG over here and recap the southern area of the map. Unfortunately the smoke ability now is a long cooldown, so I can't use it now.
A victory point is under attack. We must act. We've lost the scout squad.
Oh no, the heroic scout squad. No, it's dead.
We have command points waiting for use.
Okay, this MG is dead. Finally, that's good. Ah yeah, and there we see the GG. Okay. So, as you can see, I wanted to point out that I am shocked by the performance of the US forces as well. Why is that? I mean, most of the time during this match I was talking about the MGs and that I think that they are quite overtuned now. And that I think the Stus are overtuned as well. So, yeah, for the DAK, Stus paired up with Mardas was the way to go. Paired up with Panzer Pioneers as your mainline infantry, which is quite... It's just not the way it was intended to be, and they didn't fix that unintentionally because the Panzer Grenadiers are still weak due to the high manpower bleed. And for the Wehrmacht, it's pretty much the same as we can see here. Just going for an MG spam, that is your mainline infantry, and then go for Stus, paired up with anti-tank guns. That's a pretty strong way to play for Wehrmacht and the DAK. And I think it's quite hard to counter when performed properly. I think I was just able to win here because Charlotte wasted the early game severely. I mean, he wasted 2 MGs over here and over here. I mean, I have to admit that, I flanked them and I paid attention, so I think it's okay that I got them. And I heavily made use of my Quantaton truck, which certainly was a factor there because it was buffed, and I think I felt that it was way better than it used to be. Still, I think an even, yeah, let's say a more awake player, because I assume that Charlotte was just not in the having a good daily performance. Usually he's playing way better, and I think, yeah, usually he would just retreat the MGs or redirected them, stuff like that, instead of getting the full unit kill and the enemies stealing the MGs. So yeah, and still, since I think there are pretty strong strategies, for instance for the Wehrmacht players, when they are just performing the MG spam and going for Stus and anti-tank guns, or the DAK you didn't see in this match, however, going for the Panther Pioneer spam with flamethrowers into Achtrad, Stus and Marders. I think it was interesting to see that Riflemen, even though when they are pinned in a matter of no time by MGs, were somehow able to deal with this stuff, since, I mean, they, after the upgrades, they are having access to the anti-tank grenades, as well as regular grenades, and with that they are able to snare enemy vehicles, obviously. They can sprint, and I think the sprint ability, as we saw over here earlier during the match, there was an MG, and the rifleman sprinted like this direction, or this way, and managed to flank the MG, even though the MG he fired like 2 or 3 rounds around the rifleman. So this is why I think, yeah, the riflemans are a little bit overtuned as well, maybe, because they are very, yeah, just viable, because they can do a lot of stuff. They can breach, they can sprint, they can snare vehicles, they can throw grenades. And the bars are now very strong at long range as well. We didn't see that in this match, but in another match yesterday we see, or I saw that a squad that was retreating and was quite far away from a rifleman with bars got killed by the bars, which would not have been the case before the patch, and I don't think that the bars actually needed a buff. They were strong enough before the patch. Anyway, they got buffed a little bit, and I mean, not too much, actually. Yeah. But we saw, even though Wehrmacht players, and even really good Wehrmacht players, are playing more or less abusive strats like that, MG spam into Stu with anti-tank guns, mortars, Vesper, stuff like that, the US forces are able to win. And I am not sure whether the UK forces would win against that, because, yeah, I think the sections are not even as strong as the Rifleman by now. Anyway, I'm curious what you guys are thinking on that topic, or about that topic. Maybe tell me in the comments, because, yeah, do you think Riflemen are too strong now? Do you think MGs are too strong now? Do you think the meta will change? Or will we still see MG spams into Jägers with Shreks, either that, or MG spams into Stus with anti-tank guns, maybe Panthers later on, like we saw in this match, for Wehrmacht, and the meta for the AK, of course, to perform a Panzer Pioneer spam with flamethrowers into Achtrad with Stus and Marders. I think both of these meters won't change, actually. Or the 3 meters. Actually, there are 3 meters for 2 fractions, but these won't change, I guess. They will remain even after the balance patch. And finally, what do you think is the strongest fraction now? Is it the US forces, maybe? I think it could be the US forces, actually. Or is it still the UK forces? I don't think so, actually. I'm curious to hear that from you. And with that, let's say GG, well played, and let's have a good time.
till 50.